What's up guys, welcome back to our channel once again. Today it's learning day.
Nice.
And we are going to look at 5 things, just 5 things that most Africans don't know. 5 things that most of us don't know, whether you're in the continent or the diaspora. We have 5 things that most of us don't know. Number 1, our history. So most of us Africans don't know our history, and when I talk about our history, mostly our pre-colonial history, before we were colonized. Where were we? What were we doing? What were we? Most Africans don't know that, and the little knowledge that we learn in school about our pre-colonial history is mostly wrong. For example, in school we learned that people who are called Bantus, or people who speak language called the Bantus, like in Kenya we have the people around the center of Kenya. We were told that people came from Congo, like Congo. But if you go back to our history, you find that if you go back to the history that has been passed down through generations, you find that our people came from a place called Hakum, especially the people from the Kikuyu nationality. We came from a place called Hakum. The Hakum is Aksum, and that place is in Ethiopia. So if you look at the real history of my people, we never came from Congo, we came from Ethiopia. But the history that is being taught in school is we came from Congo. So most of us don't know our history, and the reason why we don't know our history is because the history in most cases is usually preserved by religious communities, like religious leaders and religious people of that communities who are the leaders in most cases. That's why you find that because Ethiopia was never colonized, you find their history is preserved in their churches, and they have this history going back to the time of Alexander the Great, because it's been preserved by the religious leaders. That's why you find in Ethiopia they have their own handwriting. They write their Amharic in their own way, because that has been preserved by the church. So during the colonial period, when we were being colonized by the colonialists, these people came and killed our religious people, destroyed our shrines and all that, meaning they destroyed our writing, because every community had their own writing, and in that writing where you find we kept our history, and if it was not written, it was passed by a word of mouth. So these people who passed it were killed, and the shrines which had our libraries were destroyed. That's why you find most Africans don't know their history before the colonial period, because it was destroyed. Yes, we have little, like you hear the Zimbabwe Empire Kingdom, you have the Mali Empire, Songhai Empire, but very little, and we are not even sure if it's the real deal. But at least we have something we can hold on. But don't give up hope, because some people were able to keep some of our history then. That's why I'm telling you, for example, we came from Aksum in Ethiopia and not Congo, because some people were able to preserve that. So number 2, most Africans don't know their spirituality, and I'll say this: every nationality or every tribe in Africa had its own spirituality. That's why you have little known spirituality like the Voodoo, the Dogon, because that was able to be preserved. And if you go to places like Haiti, you find the original spirituality of the African people, because these people went with it. Most Africans don't know this, because when modern religion, that is mostly Christianity, came, these people were forced into it. Yes, I know probably you don't know this. Most or all Africans were forced into modern religion, that is mostly Christianity. People died, because they say no, we don't want to join this type of spirituality. We have our own God, we have our own religion. People are killed for that, and so that in bid to save the coming generations, now people had to join this new spirituality, this new religion. So people were forced into a new spirituality, but like history, we still have people coming and bringing it back. And because there are people who kept the fire burning, or people who hid with the knowledge of African spirituality, that's why you find people are going back to their original spirituality. That's why you find people are thirsting more for African spirituality, and talking about we want to be home, we want to feel what our ancestors felt. So most African people don't know their spirituality, and that's been a problem because it become easy for guys to be brainwashed in an easy way. That during colonization, most of our religion was destroyed. When now they were destroying our shrines, and now you cannot differentiate now what we had, because our history was tied to our spirituality. And I'll give you an example, because if you look at even the Vikings of Europe, you find that the stories have been obtained from poetry. You see, so our history, our spirituality now stopped being spiritual. It became they say those are myths. When you talk about our story of creation, that's a myth. When you talk about our heroes, that are legends. But that is our history. Like the way they were able to obtain the history of the Vikings from poetry, we should also take our poetry, our stories, and do our own research and obtain our history from that. We have history, years and years of history. So for the 2 points, most Africans don't know history, most Africans don't know their spirituality. But it's your duty to make sure that your children know these two, because they are very important. You need to know your belonging, where you come from, your origin, your people's spirituality, your ancestors' spirituality, and know that your ancestors do love you. So going on to number 3. Most Africans don't know that we were actually forced into modern religion. What? When colonialists came into Africa, one thing for sure was to make sure that you hate what you are and love what they are. You hate what you are and love what they are. That's why even today you find people bleaching, people wearing wigs, and people don't love themselves. They only see that the colonialists have better lives, are better than us. They have better medicines, they have better tools. That's why we left everything and went to the years, because we were made to believe that what is ours is not good. So, but before going to that, we were forced in that if you don't join our religion, you will be killed. That's what happened. That's in the histories. And although most people would not like to hear this, it's true. You need to know where you came from and know what you are forced into. And if it's not serving you well, it's better you go back to what your ancestors worshipped. Number 4 of what most Africans don't know. So most Africans don't know that you cannot differentiate culture and spirituality. Actually, culture and spirituality is one thing. Like when you talk about the culture of people, like African people, you are going to talk about marriage, you're going to talk about dowry payment, you're going to talk about initiation into adulthood, you're going to talk about events that happened and sacrifices that were made to our ancestors, to our God. So you call that culture. but it's actually spirituality. So spirituality and culture go hand in hand. And one most important thing that people don't know is most Africans who be practicing one or two spiritually, like because you found your family in Christianity, you are there. But when it comes to marriage, you pay dowry, you take your kid for circumcision, you do this and that. But what you don't know is actually you're practicing African spirituality and modern spirituality. Most of it, because most of African will do this in secrecy because they don't want to be known that they are doing this. But it should not make you feel embarrassed because it's part of you. Practice your African culture and spirituality is one thing. Number 5, what most Africans don't know is we don't know our heroes. And the problem with that is we find ourselves praising people who are not actually our heroes. Like for example, here in Kenya, when we talk about Mau Mau, the people who fought for our freedom, for independence, if you go out there in the road and ask who are the Mau Mau, they want to tell you Dedan Kimathi. But until because they don't know, they don't know, because this was made to be something that's so bad, and it was illegal to be even taught in school, so it's barely taught in schools. We had people like General Kago, we have people like Mwalimu, and a lot of other people who people don't even celebrate. But so most Africans don't know they are heroes, and if there's a hero, it could be a lie. So most Africans don't know our heroes, and we need to do our own research. We need to go down into history. We need to go pre-colonial and learn our stories, our poetry, and save them. And that's where we are going to come and realize our heroes. For example, in the Luo community of Kenya, we have the legend of Luanda Magere, this very strong warrior. But if you come to our education system, that's just a story, that's just a legend. But the way Africans used to pass history was through the word of mouth. That could be reality, that could be something that happened long before you were born. That could be our ancestors that we don't talk about. So what I'm saying is history is very important, and it's important that we do our own research so that we can know our history and know our heroes. For example, when you come to Kenya, Africa should be one, yeah? And our African heroes should be praised and venerated to all together. But if you come to Kenya and you ask, do you know Marcus Garvey? Do you know Malcolm X? People don't know. Because these are our heroes across the globe. So most people don't know our heroes. What I'm saying is we should be teaching our children the right history. We should go back to the education system and cleanse it in a way that what is being taught is the real. You find that Africans don't believe in themselves. They don't see like they can do anything. But if you go back, our ancestors were able to fight colonialism and come out warriors, come out free. Our ancestors were able to fight slavery until it was abolished. Our ancestors were able to do great things. So these are the 5 things that most Africans don't know, and it's very important that you do your own research and you teach your kids about these 5 things. I have a feeling that I should add one more thing, and this goes to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Our brothers and sisters, most of our Africans in the diaspora, brothers and sisters in the diaspora, don't know that Africa is home. Like I hear that some even don't accept it. Africa is home, and some people will say I don't have money to maybe to go and do the DNA test for ancestry. But you don't need that. You only need the guidance of your ancestors. Just print a whole map of Africa with all the countries and close your eyes and just drop a pin. But before that, ask your ancestors to guide you. Please guide me home, show me home. And I promise you, once you go there, just to visit, don't even go and stay. You love the place, because that is home, and home is always the best. So number 6 for the diaspora, Africa will always be home, and home will always be the best. So guys, thank you for watching this video, this short video of what most Africans don't know. If you have not subscribed, please do. Please subscribe to this channel. Let's keep learning from each other. Let's pinpoint what we don't know. If you feel that there's something else that most Africans don't know, please comment. Write on the comment section, and we are going to talk about it next time. So you can follow or subscribe to our channel. You can follow us on Instagram at By Africans for Africa. You can follow our shop. We do have a shop where we sell African materials made by Africans for Africa. That is, if you haven't watched our previous video, you can see it on the description. Yes, so go watch that video and see what we're dealing. You can follow our shop in Instagram, that is By Africans Leather. You can also find a link to our Telegram channel where all the things are there. If you want some, we ship everywhere in the world, and if you are able to come for them, please do. You are going to find us in Nairobi. And thank you so much for supporting us. God bless you. May our ancestors be with you. So cheers. See you.